Hello and welcome to another episode of Talking Politics on the Hindus YouTube channel. We have changed yet again from the Hindu Originals to the main Hindu YouTube channel from this week. Now, this is a show, as you know, where we try and go behind the scenes on stories hitting the headlines in domestic politics. And this week, Karnataka was in the news because it saw a change at the head of the government with former Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, currently caretaker Chief Minister Siddaramaiah, giving way to Mr. DK Shivakumar, his deputy. And this is a change that is going to have ripples not just for within the Congress or within the government of Karnataka, but also other political parties and the political situation in that state, which is set to go to assembly elections in 2028. Now, to discuss all of this with me, I have with me journalist and author Sugata Srinivasaraju. He's the author of many books, some of whom I have also had the pleasure of reviewing, including Furrows in the Field, The Unexplored Life of H.D. Deve Gowda, which I was telling Sugata I have with me in the office at the moment. It's there in my cabin. And Strange Burdens, The Politics and Predicaments of Rahul Gandhi, and his latest book, The Conscience Network, a chronicle of resistance to a dictatorship, which was on the subject of the emergency. A very warm welcome to you, Sugata.
Thank you very much, Nistula, for having me. Thank you.
So, right off the bat, one mystery you have to solve for me. After having failed to do it in other states, what was said to Siddaramaiah that finally convinced him to give way to DK Shivakumar? This was something he had been resisting for so long and very successfully resisting it. What happened?
I'm a fellow journalist, so my curiosity is, equally deep about what was that one thing that convinced him to go away, because he had overstayed his welcome, and he was supposed to hand over power in November of 2025 when the 2.5 year thing had been completed. And then he apparently asked for an extension on the by saying that he wanted to break the record of Devraj Aras as the longest serving chief minister. See, but picking that Devraj Aras thing is also not a very good thing within the Congress, because number one, Devraj Aras was a continuous chief minister for 7 years and a few months because of the emergency. There was a non-election in between. And
Right.
number two, he had a terrible fallout with Mrs. Gandhi after that.
Hmm.
Despite he having revived Mrs. Gandhi's electoral fortunes and all that, that
Yes.
he was still, thrown out, or he had to exit the party and build the Kranti Ranga, and all that happened. That's history. So, he picked on the Devrajara's excuse to overstay,
Hmm.
and then suddenly, I don't think they gave him a choice after a point of time. He
Hmm.
was summoned to Delhi and he
Hmm.
was asked to go. See, no mainstream media has actually said that he was summoned and asked to go. They have
Right.
only said that he was given a dignified exit.
This is
See, that
not
is,
dignified in your
yeah,
view.
yeah, it was. I don't think it was a very dignified thing at all, because a man of his seniority and a
Hmm.
man who claims to have, control of so many communities under his belt. I don't think it was a mindless act. I think there was a cold calculation on the part of the Congress party,
Do you
and they knew
think it
what they were
was?
doing.
Do you think it was Rahul Gandhi's growing confidence in his own judgment after what happened in Tamil Nadu, and then the way that he sorted out the Kerala issue, where he told his own general secretary organization, somebody considered very close to him, to stand down and
Yeah.
select VD Satishan and then affect that kind of installation of a chief minister. He probably would have it. Maybe this change has more to say about Rahul Gandhi than about, say, Siddaramaiah versus DK.
Nistula, there I have a small disagreement, in the sense, even in the Kerala case, or in the case of in Tamil Nadu, I don't think it was a confident judgment. It was a post haste kind of a, Tamil Nadu especially was a post haste decision to break away from the DMK. See, I have been arguing that
Hmm.
even a rookie politician or even an amateur politician would build a kind of reason to sort of exit an alliance which has been in existence for a very long time. So they just shifted sides for the sake of power, is what has been finally established, or that is the running strain in the minds of the people and in the minds of a lot of politicians. So in the case of Tamil Nadu, I don't think they made a very a judicious decision, or they made a very calculated, considered kind of exit. They should have exited before the elections if they had the courage. They shouldn't have used the resources of the DMK, the money of the DMK, the cadres of the DMK to win, and then probably go out. And for what? For two cabinet berths? And Vijay comes to Delhi recently and does not even meet Sonia Gandhi and Rahul Gandhi. So a lot of questions are there whether it was a great decision, or whether it was a decision made in post haste. Similarly, with V.D. Satishan, I think you know very well that V.D. Satishan's candidature came to the foreground because of the groundswell of support.
Mm.
And there was a coalition partner whom you could not ignore, because you did not have numbers on your own to form a government. So IUML played a role, and everybody knew that KC Venugopal was pushing his luck,
Mm.
despite the fact that he did not enjoy the support of the coalition partners. So
Mm.
even in the case of Kerala, like in the case of Tamil Nadu, I don't think he was making a grand kind of confident, pragmatic, decision. And in both the cases, and including Karnataka and Nistula, there is
Mm.
one other narrative that has been built. I'm sure you've observed that, which is people have quietly started crediting Priyanka Gandhi for
Right.
ensuring that DK Shivakumar got his chief ministership, or she put the foot down when it came to VD Satishan. At least in these two cases, the narrative has
Mm.
been splintered within the Congress. So
Mm.
it gives us a kind of inkling as to what is happening inside the family, inside the Congress. So I wouldn't credit Rahul Gandhi much with this decision making. So I would rather speculate, because I have no evidence. I would rather speculate that perhaps DK had some leverage, which on Mr. Siddaramaiah,
Mm.
which was something that he could have
I
avoided.
thought that there was a report on the Davangere South fracas that
No,
happened.
that is, I think, a very political thing. I think there's something more which I don't know. See, DK being DK, you
Mm.
know what he did to the Deve Gowda family? He destroyed that family in Hassan during the 24 elections. Uh,
Mm.
so, I mean,
A
DK,
lot of it was, of course,
yes,
self-invited
that's
by,
right. That's right. But then, somebody had to sort of amplify it, right? Somebody had to sort of put it out into the political domain.
yes, those pen drives, you mean, that were
That is
scattered
right.
across
That
the
is right. So we don't know, we don't know what leverage which politician has on another politician. And in Karnataka, especially, it could be the Jarki Holis or Ramesh Jarki Holi or somebody else, or Sadanand Gowda. It's a nasty game in Karnataka. So we don't know what it is. What is it that actually puts them in a kind of frame? So
Karnataka
it's
has
very
a
difficult to explain.
Karnataka has a long ignominious history of, from
That is
early
right.
days downwards of
That's right. Yeah.
these kind of
Yeah,
traits.
yeah.
But why do you think that the Congress was not able to pull this kind of a 50-50 arrangement off, say in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh, where actually it would have helped? Because the reason being given for this being forced through in Karnataka is that 2028 there is an election, the chief minister looks apathetic, not very focused on winning, only focused on his legend that he should complete a certain number of days to be, as you said, Devraj's record, and nobody's thinking about the party, and we need some guy who's actually going to run the party. That could have been something that could have been cited in Rajasthan and Chhattisgarh as well. Why do you think that didn't happen?
No, Chhattisgarh and Rajasthan are completely different case studies, I think. The circumstances were different, the kind of challenges were different. But in the case of Karnataka, there has been such a explosion of identity politics in Karnataka, where, large castes have played a certain kind of role. And there is a further splintering of the caste vote, because the subcaste vote, the subcaste inheritances, as one would like to call it, or the subcaste politics or subcaste identities have become more prominent in Karnataka. And therefore, in the game of subcaste politics and with the continuous splintering of big castes, it's very difficult to say that one big caste identity is going to draw votes to your favor. That is one part. The second part is the claims that Siddaramaiah has been making since, say, 2006 on or 2008 on, saying that I command the Ahinda vote. See, it's one thing to claim a vote, but if you look at the data sets that, we have been accessing electoral data, say, of the 2008 polls, the first elections after Siddaramaiah came into the Congress party, then the 2013 polls, then the 2018 polls, and then the 2023 polls. So if you look at all of that, except 2023, when the Congress's vote share bumped up huge, took a big leap and reached, I think, 42%. In before that, it was pathetic. And this 42% is not because Siddaramaiah was commanding the vote shares of all big communities. Even if you dissect the Ahinda groups, the backwards, there are 103 castes or so in the Karnataka backwards list, and only one or two communities have gone with the Congress. The rest of them have been with the BJP since 2008. That is Yediyurappa's social engineering. If you look at the Dalits, the left Dalits, the Madigas, have not been with the Congress at all, despite a Muniappa or somebody else. So they have moved with the BJP so far. We don't know what will happen now. Then again, if you look at the minorities have been a kind of standard vote bank of the Congress party because they look at it as a kind of umbrella party which accommodates them. So my question has been, if you look at the vote share of 2008, 2013, 2018, and 2023, when the BJP has not lost a single percentage vote share. In fact, they've grown. Even in 23, when Congress did so well, BJP did not lose even half a percent of their vote share. In fact, they spread into newer areas. In fact, at the expense of the JDS and the Congress, they picked up 4 or 5% in South Karnataka.
Right, right, right.
Right. So the BJP, if you are such a powerful leader commanding, if you look at the formulation that has gone into his political branding, Nistula, which is Ahinda, it should cover 80% of the population. So
Right.
if you are 80% of the population, why is it that the Congress's vote share had stabilized at around 33% average, ever since the decline started, and continued to be so, and it went down under your leadership. When you went to the polls in 2018, Congress, not only did Congress lose, you lost your own seat in your home district,
Right.
and in the district where you contested your second seat, Badami, your victory margin, Badami, Badami in Bagalkot, that was the
Yes,
second seat. He lost Varuna,
yes, yes.
Chamundeshwari,
I remember that election.
right?
Right.
And he won Badami, that is 2018. He was the sitting chief minister, and his victory margin, Nistula, was less than the Nota vote. And recently, his own best pal, CM Ibrahim, said, "Oh, we had to work a lot to even gather that extra votes. We had to buy those votes." He used the word. Nobody has explored that thing. So, why was the performance so pathetic in 2018? You were still the Ahinda leader then.
Mm-hmm.
Again, 2023, if your formulation had sort of delivered to the Congress party, then you should have given more than 50% vote share, which no political party in Karnataka has ever got since independence. Right? It is the same with even Nehru. Nehru, even no political party nationally has ever crossed 50% vote share, right? As a single party. So that applies to Karnataka as well. And so this could be one of the other tactical things which the Congress has found out, that actually Siddaramaiah's presence is not actually
Overstated.
delivering what they actually he's sort of saying that he's going to deliver. And also the Tamil Nadu vote. This is, I think, slightly more interesting. After you saw Vijay demolish the Dravidian decks, with a kind of universal vote, which went beyond caste, which went beyond money, which went beyond gender, you know, people have suddenly realized that there is a certain kind of demographic kind of vote, which is not a caste vote, which
Mm.
can be newly targeted, and I think that is the new formulation that people are looking at, and that's why you see Annamalai jumping in Chennai and Tamil Nadu,
Right, right.
trying to say that there is new politics and I want to capture it and I want to become like a Vijay. Whether he'll be a success is a separate story, because he is not Vijay and Vijay is not Annamalai. But there is this new hope that has been created by the busting of the Dravidian vote, which I think the Congress party thinks it can also sort of gain in Karnataka by getting a label-free chief minister like DK Shivakumar. See, DK Shivakumar is not a socialist. DK Shivakumar is not a Okkaliga leader in the way the Deve Gowda is, or the Deve Gowda family is. DK Shivakumar does not command any other region in the
Mm.
state. Right. So he's a label free politician with whom perhaps they can experiment and probably look at somebody else by the time they get to 28 or 29 general elections.
So, Congress has got a vocal leader chief minister after a long time. Uh, what is likely to change for the party, do you think? And do you think this Ahinda vote that you just spoke about uh, maybe answered it partially also? Where do you think it's going to go now? Do you think BJP has any chance of getting some of that?
No, see, there is a great deal of, as at the end of third year, if you just speak to people on the street or if you read the Kannada newspapers, the anti-incumbency factor is very huge. In fact, there have been some local television channels. We don't know how verified these polls are. No, but they say if the Congress contests the elections today, they may not even cross 50. And somebody has been saying that their vote, their seat share will be something like the 1994 elections when they went under Veerappa Moily, and that was the most disastrous performance. So people have started, despite the political capital that Siddaramaiah claims, the political branding that Siddaramaiah claims, people have been speaking about a certain defeat for the Congress. So,
Right,
so that is there. That's number one. So the Ahinda vote, as I told you, already the majority of the castes have been with the BJP,
right.
right? And we don't know if Modi will play the same Bihar card or the card that is he has played in the north, where the gender vote becomes independent of any caste affiliation. So you have
Hmm.
got 51% or 50% of the vote, which is not looking at any of the traditional kind of allurements to vote. So that becomes an independent category. So Ahinda vote is a broken vote, and it has never been a consolidated vote. The only time it looked consolidated without the two major communities was only under Devraj Aras. That was a new politics of that time between 71 and 72. That consolidation was new under him, and he also delivered a lot. See, the backward class reservations, it became a model for the rest of India. Even before the Mandal was conceived, Devarajaras had implemented it. And then there was the Land Reforms Act,
And resealing, yeah,
Land
that's
Sealing Act. And now, what is Siddaramaya's legacy? Has he done anything other than the welfareism, which belongs to everybody in the party and the Congress party and everybody else? So, this is a huge question about the Ahinda vote bank. So, it has never been a consolidated thing. The other line I think that we have to remember is blood is thicker than water, which is the Ahinda, the backward castes always congregate when there is an economic opportunity. Never when the Lingayats saying that Yadurappa is our man, and voting on bloodlines never happens with the backward classes. So you therefore see the Upparas or Devangas or everybody going with Yadurappa. Only the Kurubas and Idigas have kind of played along with the Congress. And even the Kurubas, if you look at A.H. Vishwanath or H.M. Revana, who's in the Congress, I don't think they're speaking of great things about Sidramaya having done anything at all for the Kuruba community. So now again, Kurubas, the big question that has come up is if Sidramaya wanted to do something, he should have spoken the larger language of the backward classes instead of pushing his son into the cabinet. So
which
that,
he's trying to do it.
yeah, exactly. So the nepotistic angle and the dynastic angle also fills into that thing. So it distorts the whole thing. And the last thing that I would like to add is the Okaliga thing that you mentioned. So,
Right.
what does the Okaliga thing do? It does very little except create an existential problem for the JDS. So
Right.
now, this man, I think I was reading the papers yesterday and day before. See, first thing he has done after becoming chief minister elect is gone to the old JDS office, which
Right.
they had won in a court case. It was the Congress O office which had been handed down to the JDS. So they had got that, and he now wants to build a Congress Bhavan there, destroying the old structure, and
He's going to lay
wants.
the foundation tomorrow, I think.
Yes, that's right. That's number one. And two, he wants to start a Janashirvad Yatra from Mandya, so which
Mm.
is Kumar Swami's thing. And then there is the Bidadi Township project about which they are abusing each other like nobody's
I
business.
think I wrote a story on this existential issue that the
Right,
JDS,
right, yeah.
and there is talk here. I don't mind telling you, which I've written in my copy, is that if and when the next reshuffle happens, Mr. Kumaraswamy might give up his cabinet berth in favor of his brother-in-law, who's a BJP MP here,
Uh-huh.
uh, Dr. Manjunath
I
Singh
yeah,
Manjunath.
yeah. I
Yeah.
don't think he'll give it up for that. Probably one of the two births may go.
Mm.
But I mean, see, otherwise there is no power in the family. See, Manjunath is a BJP person. It
Mm.
doesn't help JDS, and Manjunath is not a mass politician. And
Mm.
Manjunath is operating again in DK Shivkumar's, ground zero, Kanakpura,
Mm.
and Bangalore rural is he snatched the seat from DK's brother. So I
Right.
don't think he has enough elbow room to operate there. Kumar Swamy is the mass leader. So
Mm.
I don't think the BJP will try to dislodge Kumar Swamy too much, but there may be a few adjustments. And but certainly one thing will happen: Kumar Swamy's room to negotiate has been reduced drastically.
Yes. True. 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 So, in fact, that was the next question I was about to ask you about the challenges for the JDS. But since we were chatting, it just came out on its own. Now, my final question is about the BJP. So you
Yes.
have an acting party president, and I somehow sometimes feel that Vijendra must be feeling like, or Karnataka must be feeling like Anil Kapoor in the climax of 1942, a love story, where you're standing in a crowd and everybody around you is getting shot, and you're standing there. You've got state presidents being appointed across the country. You've got a new national president also, with the question of Karnataka president, the state president for Karnataka, has not been resolved yet. Uh, how do you think this set of events is going to affect that situation?
See, I think Vijayendra, you're absolutely right about Vijayendra, and the 1942 analogy makes it even more interesting. But Vijayendra is the only president who has not been confirmed in the last 3 years.
Yes.
Every other president has been. And so we don't know what his fate is going to be. And recently I learned there was some activity where national observers had come and they were meeting MLAs and senior BJP leaders, and there's some exercise happening. So we don't know if Vijayendra will be kicked upstairs or downstairs. So that possibility looks very, very possible. And
Mm.
I think they were also looking at the change of guard in the Congress to
Mm.
sort of make their move. So BJP is a party in total disarray in Karnataka. So if you look at
They're the best friends of the Congress there. I mean, anything
yeah,
worse than
absolutely.
Congress in Karnataka is the BJP in Karnataka.
Yes. So the
Yeah.
three former chief ministers don't have any ability to turn or twist anything in Karnataka now. Sadanand Gowda, Bommai, or Yediyurappa. All of
Mm.
them are under a certain different kinds of clouds. Let us put it that way. So they don't have any leeway.
Mm.
And so BJP, I feel, BJP, because it is a party, the only party which sort of makes drastic adjustments to the change in situation,
Mm.
may end up putting a younger person who is again a non-affiliated to any big caste or whatever, to run the party until the elections under a collective umbrella. So, and of course, then they finally bring in the Modi image and the other things start happening. So I think they are planning something, but the plan will sort of be unfurled only when we'll be clear about it only when it is unfurled. And Vijendra's situation is not complimentary, or I mean, it's not a very happy situation at all. and I think they used him for the last 3 years because it was peacetime, and they knew that the Edurappa family had great linkages with Siddaramaiah, because it was Siddaramaiah who propped up Yediyurappa in 2019 and pulled down
Right.
the coalition government. Again
Hmm.
in 2008 by-elections, he had played a devastating role to prop up the BJP. So they knew about all that, and they wanted the same family to handle the coming in of a new chief minister in 2023. And now I think the time has come when they'll take decisive decisions. Let us also not forget the cases against Yediyurappa are still very active,
Hmm.
including the POSCO case. The cases against Sidramaya are not closed. The Muda case is there. And the Muda case, the commissioner is somewhere in the jail. The approver is in the jail. The recipient is still out. So we don't know what will happen. We saw what happened with Pinarayi Vijayan in Kerala, the
Hmm.
raids that happened immediately after he stepped down. So there is a lot of flux that we see. There is a lot of uncertainty and interesting times for journalists like us to
Absolutely,
see.
especially in the because of what happened, I think in Tamil Nadu,
Yes,
it's a domino effect that has happened across
that
the
is right.
southern states, and therefore extremely exciting for journalists like us to
To watch
observe.
this. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
yes,
We
and
can keep
especially I feel
speculating
Tamil
and
Nadu.
speculating. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, especially I feel Tamil Nadu has just blown wide open.
Right, right,
67 years of a particular kind of ideological hegemony.
right.
Going away, you can imagine the vacuum,
Correct.
political
And
vacuum there.
Vijay is not actually the change. He's a transitionary figure, is my feeling. I don't know. He may
Okay.
settle down. He may settle down.
Okay.
So there
All
may
right.
be something else. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sugata. It was very, very, what do you call it? I liked your insights a lot. Very insightful
Thank you.
interview that you gave me. I'm very grateful that you could spare the time to speak to me on
Pleasure.
these issues. And I'm sure viewers of Talking Politics will also appreciate this 360-degree view that you have given them of these really major events. These are major events which I think we will look back in the 10 years down the line and say that okay, we lived through that, and
That's right.
we thought of it a certain way and it has come out another way. It's that kind of set of events that have happened, especially in the southern states. Thank you very, very much again for joining
Pleasure.
me, and thank you viewers for joining us this week. I shall see you next week.